All right, let's go back and take a listen to the dry, unprocessed vocal as it was sent to us by the client. Tim Sorbs, Over My Heart. Definitely check out all his socials in the description.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down. Because of our hearts, we all fall down, we all fall down.
Awesome. So we get a nice clean recording, but it was not compressed to tape. We've got words that jump out. We've got some that are a little tucked underneath. And so in the first video, part 1, we went through and we hit it with EQ, saturation, compression, and parallel compression. We also talked about routing and signal flow. Again, check that out, link in the description. Let's take a listen to what we did there, and then we're going to move on to the effects.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down. Because of our hearts, we all fall down, we all fall down.
So a much more consistent tone, a little brighter, a little more airy. We got a nice vocal sitting on top of the track. Before we look at chorus, modulation effects, delays, reverbs, all that good stuff, I mentioned in part 1, if you guys like, subscribed, all that good stuff, that I would do a part 2 and look at the effects. But I noticed we have a little bit of a sibilance issue, and we've got a kind of lack of oomph in the vocal. The 1K, 2K range is just not sitting nicely for me. So we're going to take a look at that first. Coming over here, UAD Spark, incredible subscription model from Universal Audio. However, it does not include a de-esser. Or does it? Of course it does. Inside the channel strip, you've got the API Vision channel strip. You've got the Dynamic SC button right here. If you have the EQ on, the compressor on, and you engage this one right there, it's going to allow you to set up a channel strip compressor. That EQ sidechained into the compressor is going to react to whatever you send it. And so by doing that, we can come in, identify what are the harsh frequencies from our singer, use an analyzer, get your FabFilter Pro Q3 out, and take a look at where he's peaking or she's peaking, and then come in here and set your EQ and boost into the compressor in that same frequency range. So for this vocalist, Tim had a little bit of sibilance around 7K and 5K, so I boosted a substantial amount into the compressor. That compressor is right here, and it's going to react to those frequencies. My gain staging is a little out of whack, got ahead of myself on this one, so threshold's all the way up, and still getting a full signal into the compressor. I guess boosting, 12, 15 dB of each of those frequencies is going to help with that too. But nonetheless, I am not dropping the threshold. I merely have it set all the way to the highest setting here. And then we're going to play with the ratio, attack, all that. Check it out.
The sun went down.
How did I know that phrase was going to be sibilant? So here you go. And we're going to bypass it first.
The sun went, the sun went, the sun went.
It's not super harsh, it's not taking your head off, but we want to control that a little bit. So here's the de-esser using the API Vision channel strip.
The sun went, the sun went, the sun went.
Now we can get a lot more aggressive if you take this ratio knob. I have it set up as a fast attack just to get in, get out, and a fast release to make sure it's only hitting that little football in the waveform there. A little bit of sibilance going on.
The sun went, the sun went, the sun went.
If we want to get even more aggressive, we could take this ratio and just crank it up.
The sun went, 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 the sun went.
So you got a nice warm rounded off S here in the kind of 5 to 6, 6 to 1 ratio. Sounds really good to me. I think dialing it back just a hair works out as well.
The sun went, the sun went, the sun went, the sun went, the sun went.
Play with that to taste, but there you go. You got a de-esser in the UAD Spark subscription. Moving on from there, I felt like the vocal just didn't have enough oomph. It wasn't cutting through quite as much as I wanted. Around 1K, 800 hertz to 2K is a sweet spot in the male vocal here. And so I'm going to come in with the mid-range boost in the Pultec, the MEQ5. We're going to pull forward 1K and 1.5 just a little bit in each. Here's without it.
The sun went, the sun.
And we don't need that anymore.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down. Because of our hearts, we all fall down, we all fall down.
Just kind of falls flat without it, pulls it forward a little bit, nice little touch. And then I wanted a little more air because once we got that sibilance controlled, I lost a little bit of the classiness on top, which I think fits Tim's voice for this song. So we've got the Pultec, and I've got 16K, just boosting a little bit of air up top. Nothing too crazy. Let's take a listen with it, and then I'll turn it off so you can hear it kind of pull down a bit.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down. Because of our hearts, we all fall down, we all fall down. And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went.
You just hear it kind of fall apart a little bit when I bypass it. Now we have a vocal that's not only sitting on top, it's compressed well, it's got tons of character, we've got a good EQ shape to it sitting on top of the track. Now what I want to do is walk you through what the whole point of this video was supposed to be from the beginning, is the effects. Now with UAD Spark, we've got tons of awesome effects. We're going to kick it off and take a look at a chorus. I've got what I call a gentle chorus using the Lexicon 224. Now because we're using the Lexicon, there's going to be not just the modulation, we got kind of a short room ambience that's going to go along with it. I thought it sounded pretty sweet. Let's take a look at it because you may be thinking, chorus in the 224? Yes. If you click the open tab, whoop, let's see if I can, there we go. Whoop. Sound effect was off time and I missed it. Click open. It's going to open this little panel here. And then if we zoom in, we'll be able to see you got pitch shift. If we can click that up or down, however many cents, I'm not sure if it's cents or what's built in, but you get more or less modulation in the reverb. I'm a huge fan of modulated reverb tails. So beautiful fan. I'm a huge fan of the 224, but in this case, we're going to use it. We've got a preset here called Vocal Wide Chorus. Basically took that and tweaked it to taste. And so I've got a little bit of modulation happening. Let's take a listen to this one. Where's my send? Bam. Unmute this guy.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
So it's going to give you, it's a little roomy, but it's going to give you kind of that Dimension D vibe. So you got that stereo chorus thing kind of happening here. So one more time without it.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
I'm a huge fan of a little bit of modulation on vocals, and this does the trick. Moving on from chorus, let's take a look at some delays. Now I've got a slap delay here from the tape echo, space echo here. The Roland lost their license with UA or whatever, so we've got, it's called Galaxy Tape Echo. And this first one here, I was just tinking around with some presets, found a medium echo, turned off the reverb. I actually decided to turn this into a stereo delay and send the delay into a reverb. We'll show you that here in a second. But pretty cool little thing with the Galaxy tape echo. The input and the output controls are going to be your friend. If you've got a track where you want an aggressive saturated delay, all you got to do is boost the crap out of this input knob and back off the output a little bit and check out what happens. Let's make sure we get our send. I'll turn off the chorus for this. Pull in the Galaxy Echo.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
How sick is that? It's not like pure destruction, but it's certainly breaking up. It's got a nice tone to it.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
But in this song, I wanted it to be a little cleaner, so we're going to back that off.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
And I am using a tempo synced quarter with the 5/30 seconds. It's creating that kind of slap-ish vibe going on, and so I was really digging that, had a blast. And then the input and output controls, I had to mention that because you can get a lot of character from that. Fun stuff. Now, the Galaxy Tape Echo is a mono delay. So I went ahead and the reverb, I believe, is stereo. I may be wrong about that, but I was not able, I don't think you can pan like one head to the left and the other to the right. It's a mono source here. So what I did is I took and put one instance, and then in here you've got the echo pan, and I panned it to the left. So I've got an eighth note on the left and a dotted eighth on the right. Slightly different settings outside of them being both in the eighth note category there. And let's take a listen to what those sound like. If we come up here, I called it the medium delay.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
pretty sweet. Let's actually turn off. I got it going into a reverb, which I'll show off next.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
Cool. And remember, the more you drive into it, the more it's going to saturate, distort. I also went ahead and remember the de-esser we set up at the beginning of this video. I copied it down to the delays and the reverb. The S's were getting a little bit spitty in the reverb and the delay, so I want to control that, and I actually set it a little more aggressive as well. You can see here the ratio, and actually the release should have been faster, and there you go. So the other one, on the reverb, I set it more aggressively. For this one, I did not. Now, you might be wondering, how am I controlling both of them? I've got the 8th delay on the left, dotted 8th on the right, and then I sent both of them into the medium delay bus. So I created another send. They're going in there, and that's where I've got the de-esser, and that's where I'm sending into the reverb so I can control them, EQ them all in one track, and not have to do that individually. Save a little bit of processing power and be a little more efficient there. Okay, so we got a delay on the left. We have our delay on the right. We've got slightly different settings for each of them. We have our de-esser to control the sibilance. Now I'm sending that into a reverb, which I dialed up the pure plate, the default setting. I increased the reverb time a little bit to 4 seconds or so. 100% wet solo is on. And let's take a listen to what that sounds like.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down. Because of our hearts, we all fall down, we all fall down.
So without it, just a nice, clean, simple delay. With it, we get that kind of ethereal, the ambiance carrying out, adding sustain to the vocal. Now, this song, it's about it with the effects, but we've got this section here. Let's check it in context.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
First off, let's hear it if I just turn off all these effects. We'll turn off all of this good stuff here.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
That just doesn't match the emotion of this part. We've got this ballad-like chorus, and we need to care for the emotion of the song. And so here we've got the modulation, the slap, the medium slap, the echo, and then sending the echo into the reverb. Let's take a listen. It might be a little bit much, but exaggerated for the sake of the tutorial.
And over my heart, the sun went down, the sun went down.
Sounds great. What happens when we pull this back and hit play at the verse?
Well, I reside to hide from the people who just meet us outside and not over their mind, not over their mind.
It's muddy, it's messy, I can't handle that. So we got to do things a little bit differently at the verse. And to solve that problem, what I've done is I've automated a couple of those effects down at the verse. And then I also, instead of using the pure verb down here for the verse, I muted it. So mute automation to turn that off at the verse. And then I gave us a verse verb. And so for that, I used a Lexicon 224, added some modulation because I love that. Got a little bit of that going on. And pretty mild sounding reverb. It's just there to help kind of fill some space so it's not so dry. The delay is going to help a little bit with that. And then the verb's going to kind of soothe it out a bit as well. So let's take a listen at the verse.
I'll feel my history defining what went wrong. I'll see the patterns in ancient carvings and bathroom stalls.
Which is way more chill. Got a little bit, probably would spend some more time adjusting the EQ on the verb and some of that kind of stuff. But hey, for example's sake, I hope that does it for now. You guys rock. Thanks for sticking with me. If you guys want to see how I mix a vocal from start to finish, check out the free vocal mixing checklist, link in the description. Let me know what kinds of videos you want to see here on the channel. Do you want to see more? Maybe a mixing drums with UAD Spark? Drop a like. Definitely tell me down below, and we'll see you in the next one.